Ladies and gentlemen, um, please sit down, phones away, put them away on silent D&D, leave them in the car because today is important, right? We need to do this sophisticatedly and appropriately, right? We need to all be on one accord. My name is Dylan Walton. You can also call me the Sports Fanatic. And today um, is a very special day. This weekend is a very special weekend because it is a Masters weekend. The creme de la creme of tournaments in the game of golf is happening this weekend, and it is on full display with so much talent. Good God Almighty. I'm going to give you my winner once I just talk about some of these players from the field who I personally think. I have two players, a personal favorite, and then who I actually think is going to win. But I mean, this field is deep. I mean, this is my first. Let me set the scene by how I got introduced to the golf game because I'm fairly new, right? Like a lot of other people, they see it and pick it up. Well, I was fortunate enough, I'm in this sports industry, but I'm not a casual. This is what I got my degree in. This is what I'm getting my master's in marketing. I got my bachelor in sports broadcast and sports media, but I was fortunate enough at the end of my first year of graduate school, I was blessed enough to do an internship with the Tennessee Golf Association, the TGA, right? They introduced me to the game of golf and I have been bitten by the bug. I've been I've seen junior championships, I've seen senior championships, mid-end championships, four ball match plays. I've seen it all. Qualifiers, I've been a part of it all. And the game of golf is just so different from other sports. It's it's much more quieter. It's a whole lot more mental, and you know, it's you against them people. Like that's the competitive edge. I just don't want them to beat me, and I love it. It drives me insane, and I can't wait to get good at it so I can play in one of these tournaments. It is phenomenal. The world of golf has so much money and so much prestige in it, and there's so much tradition in it. It's one of its own. Like the game really doesn't change. The people may, but the game doesn't. At the end of the day, it's put the ball in the hole in the least amount of shots you can to be the best. Whatever type of shot you got to hit, whatever club you got to use, whether you're in the middle of the fairway, on the fringe, the second cut, um, uh, light rough, heavy rough, pine straw, near the water in the penalty zone, out of bounds. You just have to get up and down in the least amount of shots from the tee box to the hole to be the winner of said qualifier or tournament. And I love it. In the rain and cold weather and hot weather, the conditions are and a lot of wind. The conditions are out of your control. You just have to do what you can to win. You just got to play. And you can't let anything affect you up here because it'll affect your game down there and you won't be the same. You can go from having three straight birdies on your first three holes to hitting bogey every other hole from there. And now you looking at a plus four, a plus five, and the cut line for the second round is plus three. So you got to at least hit two birdies just to be even considered to make the cut. Not to be solidified, but to be considered to make the cut. The game of golf is beautiful. But the Masters is it's a tradition like none other. Um, this tournament truly exemplifies, in my opinion, the best golfer in the world. You can win the Open Championship, the Players Championship, the U.S. Open Championship, the PGA Tour. You can the FedEx Cup, like St. Jude, like what else am I missing? The Arnold Palmer Invitational. You can win the Genesis. Like it's so many you can win, but it's the Masters that matter. That's the holy grail. You only have four majors, and the Masters is the biggest one of them all, in my opinion. You got the PGA, the Masters, the US, and the regular Open, right? Often called the British. But the Masters just hold so much weight. It does. Oh my God, it's amazing. And I wanna name off some of these guys that's going to be in the field. You'll know a good majority of them, but just in case you don't know a few, I got you. You got your Tommy Fleetwoods, your Scotty Schefflers, Rory McIlroy, Bryson DeChambeau, JJ Spawn, who won the U.S. Open last year, Patrick Cantley, William Clark, Jason Day. Who else? The Hogard brothers. Cam Young, who just won the Players Championship a couple weeks ago out there at TPC Sawgrass. Who else am I thinking? Oh, one of my guys, and this is also who I'm rooting for, is Akshay Bhatia, who won the Honor Palmer Invitational. And man, he's what, 23, 24 years old. He is a dog. Can stripe the ball. I love the way he puts. His short game, his chipping and stuff is or like 125-yard shots. Sometimes are not the best, in my opinion, after watching him in the Players Championship, but out there at TBC in Jacksonville, Florida. But man, can he put? Can he stripe the ball? He is phenomenal. Of course, you got Scotty and Tommy, who's been those, the top of the top for so long, and even the little storyline with Rory McIlroy winning his first Masters last year, completing the career Grand Slam. Um, his little situation, because the rumor that's been around Rory as of late has been maybe he's not fully concerned with winning again or fully connected with winning another Masters. Maybe he doesn't want to repeat. And I don't think the man wants to necessarily lose, but in the game of golf, it's always not necessarily about the winner gets the money. There's a cutoff. You maybe top 15, top 20, 25, whatever the cutoff may be for said tournament. You get a payout to some degree, to some extent. You don't have to be number one to get paid. You have to be number one to get paid the most. But you don't have to be number one to get paid. So maybe Roy's not looking to win. Maybe he's looking to come on with the check. But I also heard you don't get paid for nothing with the Masters. But that's a whole different ordeal. I'm still learning. Like I said, I'm not a casual, but I'll be working in golf this summer as well with the AJGA, American Junior Golf Association, where they host the biggest junior golf tournaments in the world. This is where a lot of these players, Scotty Scheffler, Cam Young, Bryson DeChambeau, Tiger Woods, JJ Spawn, Jason Day, a lot of these American-born players, and some even the foreign ones. I'm not sure if Tommy Fleetwood played, but Phil Mickelson, like a lot of these greats have played in these AJGA tournaments. So I get to be around more golf history this summer as well. But man, I'm excited. And then I didn't even mention, I talked about Rory, but I didn't even get to talk about the little beef that him and Bryson DeChambeau have. That little rivalry that they got, that's going to be something to watch as well. So I'm excited to see what goes on with them, because Bryson DeChambeau, who is my pick to win it all, he has that look in his eye. He's been on that LIV golf, that live golf out there in Saudi Arabia, South Africa, playing those golf tournaments. But everybody knows that PGA Tour, that's where the real ones are. It's in it, and it's some politics in it for sure. It's some politics in it, but everybody know, if you want to be recognized as one of the greats, you can't go to the TGL with Tiger Woods and them. You can't go to live golf or whatever extra golf they got going on over there. If you want to be recognized as a Pantheon great, if you want to be etched into the rich history of the game of golf, you got to play in that PGA Tour. That's what you have to do. And winning the Masters, one of the four to complete the Grand Slam, is where you start. And Bryson DeChambeau, if you've been watching his press conferences over the week, man, it's been phenomenal. I see that look in his eye. He tied fifth last year. He had a bad start to the final day in that final round, what had him tied at fifth, but he had an opportunity to win it. A lot of people may forget that. He had an opportunity to win it, but you can kind of see, I think he's been tied 6th, tied 10th the last few years. I think he's had a top 15 finish the last 5 years. He's knocking on the door. And Bryson DeChambeau, right at the ripe age of 31, 32 years old, just a little bit older than Scotty Scheffler, who's looking for his third green jacket. It's just so many small storylines. Can JJ Spawn get 2 of the 4 now on the career Grand Slam? Like, can Tommy Fleetwood get one of his first wins, I think since last season? Or can Cam Young go 2 and get it? Can go for 2 in this 2026 season? Or can Badia get that invitational at the Arnold Palmer and then boom, get a Masters? And then I didn't even mention VJ, the OG, who was playing back with Tiger in those days. He's in the field as well. But then lastly, I want to touch on this, and then I talk about the Masters and how their social media content rollout has been phenomenal. Um, the amateur status. You got Jackson Harrington. Shout out to the Tennessee native, Dixon, Tennessee. Goes to UTK, plays for their golf squad. Was the runner up in the U.S. Junior Am. Was it the U.S. Am or U.S. Junior? I want to say it was the U.S. Am. Make sure. Make sure I got that right for y'all. Yes, it was the U.S. Amateur. So the U.S. he was the runner up in the U.S. Amateur this past, I want to say like September, October. Just did not have a good final round in that match play round against Mason Howell, who was the champ. Both of those young fellows are in the field as well. Mason is in the group with Roy, so that'll be interesting. I seen a cool story that they had where Rory flicked the ball to Mason when he was 9 years old at the whatever tournament in 2016. I think I can put the video in here. If I can't, then I can't. But I think I'm gonna put it in here for y'all. But um, nice to see those 2 young fellas in the game. I think. Well, I know Jackson was in the practice round group with Bryson DeChambeau. I'm not sure if they're in the same tee time, same group for the actual first round that starts this weekend. So that'll be one thing to see. And then Brandon Holtz, the only amateur who is not a full time golfer, well, that was currently a full time golfer. He won the U.S. Mid Am, which gave him an automatic exemption for the U.S. Open and the Masters. And I just heard this story as well. He's been attending the Masters, been a patron since '04, and now every year he has been there, and this is the first year he will get to play after winning that U.S. Mid Am. So the amateur field, I think, is pretty good. There's another U.S. Am that I missed, but I'm not very relevant of his prior accomplishments and anything like that. I haven't kept up with him, but I know those 3 amateurs I have known pretty well. So, but that's a majority of how I feel about the overall field. And there are some other guys as well that I'm very fond of, like Patrick Cantley, Ludwig Adberg, those guys of that nature. But I think this is going to be a really competitive field this year. Obviously, you got world number 1 in Scotty Scheffler, who's been a little bit rusty. He had like a slight slice in his shot, but he's taken the last few weeks off to get back. Rory McIlroy's had some back issues. He says he feels good. Bryson DeChambeau has been working on iron and wedges. Hopefully, he doesn't have those demons come in with him. Cam Young is running the high. Akshay Bhatia is running the high. So it'll be interesting to see who comes out on top, because I think a lot of the top dogs are ready to fight, especially Tommy Fleetwood coming off a championship performance in the TGL. But let's wrap this up. Let's get on to the social media part. The Masters, good God Almighty, the content that they are rolling out, you can tell this was methodically, meticulously planned out. It has been put in the right spots at the right time. The drive, chip, and putt with the kids in the par 3 contest earlier this week, man. It's everything has been spot on. Tommy Fleetwood, hitting the hole in one with his kid Frankie, and it's just the content has been it's been on point. It doesn't feel like a single post has been out of place, and that is beautiful to watch. Whether it's been the voiceovers and the cinematic Instagram reels, or it's been the former winners, and you having them do the press conferences before the game, and before the match the on Thursday. just everything. Like the look back at Rory last year, the documentary that he had. It's just everything has been leading up, and it's now feel like, oh my God, Thursday is here. Let's play golf. Let's get into it. So I'm ready to see the ceremonial tee off with that they do. This is my first year actually watching the Masters from start to finish and actually being heavily involved, know what was going in. Last year, I just tuned in just to see, what was going on because I knew I had to get into the golf game. I didn't know what I was watching. Now I know what I'm watching. Now I understand what shot is needed for this, what shot is needed for that. Okay, he's down 4, but the guy in the position above him just bogeyed. What can he do now that he's down 3? I understand it now. You know what I mean? So I'm excited to see the content that's going out over the week. Who makes the cut, who doesn't, the miraculous shots, the moments, the history, the tradition. I'm excited to see it all. The 2026 Masters is here, and best believe we're gonna have. I'm gonna try to have at least daily content regarding the Masters as best as I can. So if you guys want to see more of that, like, comment, share, subscribe, the whole nine. 2026, the Masters, ESPN, Paramount Plus, NBC, Peacock, whatever you got to do. Make sure you watch the Masters. Get you some golf in, man. I've been the sport fanatic, your boy Dylan, and I'm be peaceful on my exit. I normally do a lot of rambunctious stuff, but it's the Masters. You got to come civilized. You got to come prepared. You got to come acting of such high caliber, because when you have an event like this that you're going to be talking about, you need to know what you're talking about, how you're talking about, and you need to place it to where all people can understand what you're talking about. So it's going to be a good week, ladies and gentlemen. It's been your boy, the Sport Fanatic. This has been the Sport Fanatic Show. Your boy Deal. Like, comment, share, subscribe, the whole nine, and I'm out of here. Peace. I got Bryson DeChambeau on the 17th.